All right. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all feeling? Good to see you, and welcome. All right, we're live on Callin, YouTube, Rockfin, and Rich Diana. I saw your comment about Robert Hunsaker and immediately Googled his article. So maybe we'll be looking at that. Appreciate the suggestion. And Gene, what's going on? Force and Climate Info. Gang's all here. Lots of people here. Okay. Ecocentric Homestead. Some doom is just realism. I did have another channel called Neorealism for a second, which is kind of there's a type of art called neorealism. There's also a political theory called neorealism, which basically just means being a realist. Seeing things for what they are, seeing human beings for how political systems work for what they are, kind of like, well, this is how it's going to be. This is how it operates. So we're just going to go with this. Anyways, well, welcome to another dose of realism, or doom in the afternoon, if you will. Wasn't a suggestion? Well, I mean, I'm going to look it up, man. So come on. All right. Yeah, we're back on YouTube, and we're on Rockfin. Rockfinners, hello. Hi. How you doing? Please also join me on Rockfin, because we will be switching to Rockfin later in the show. That's going to happen, because I'm extra vigilant about not getting another strike on YouTube. So prepare yourselves. Judy Truitt says another friend came in with a rumor that migrants in Tucson are being given $2,000 a month. I told her that sounded suspect. I actually have not some news about that specifically, but I have some news that may make you raise your eyebrows around that. And we're going to talk about that news probably on Rockfin. Yeah, if I ever disappear from YouTube, guys, you could just go over to Rockfin. I probably got a strike, and I'm probably over on Rockfin. All you got to do is just mosey on over there and see if I'm making any shows. That's all you got to do. It's just that easy. By the way, I know I made some comments at the end of the show yesterday that I made some comments at the end of the show, and some people seemed to be a little upset. I was talking about the person that was in Rockfin that looked ridiculous. It is a long walk to the next tab. Yeah, all the way over to Rockfin. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, I was saying, I was talking about somebody who was in the chats and saying that some people are paid trolls, paid by the state to troll people. That's not that weird. Some people were upset, that I'm implied that anybody that disagreed with me is a paid troll. That's not necessarily. I know that people have ideas of their own. It's okay. You can think whatever you want, and I'm not saying that if you don't agree with me, if you don't think the way I think about certain things, that you're automatically a paid troll. I do have my suspicions, and it's just not that weird of an idea, right? Like, remember when Trump got elected, and they were the media was suggesting that there was just rooms full of Russians in front of computers, hacking our elections and making people think the bad things, right? That was kind of the suggestion. However, which is not that weird of an idea, but I mean, apply the idea to the United States. Do you think that, and apply it to government agencies monitoring / controlling what people think? It's not that weird. We know that propaganda exists. We know that propaganda exists. We know that propaganda exists, right? It's pumped out on the media all the time. So the idea that there might be like rooms full of people that work for the NSA or somewhere else, that are monitoring what people are talking about, and then it's not that weird of an idea. It's just not that strange. It's not super conspiratorial. It's just, that's obviously what they would do if they were concerned about people thinking bad thoughts or thinking things that are anti-establishment or thinking things outside of the narrative. It would behoove them to hire some folks. Just hire some folks, put them in a room with some computers, and say, go ahead. You're a professional troll. Go out there, get into chats, talk to people, create fake account. It's just not that. It's not that weird of an idea. They do have bots for that, but why wouldn't It's not that they pay people on Twitter and other places to spread propaganda, just like a media corporation, right? There are guys on Twitter that are posing as regular dudes, just activists, they just care so much about people's safety in this country and stuff like that. You're right. Ecocentric homes, it doesn't need to be rooms full of agents. Could just be people that are hired to sit at home and just spend, 4, 6, 8 hours on a computer trolling people or watching what people are saying. It's just not that hard. It's not that weird of an idea. Anyways, there are people that are paid on Twitter to spread propaganda. They are paid by government agencies and political parties to spread propaganda. It's just not, and that's been disclosed. That's a real thing. It's there. So I say that about people in the chats. Sometimes I have my suspicions, but I also say it, it's just a turnaround, because people get into the chats and they're like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're saying the weird things. Oh, I don't, stop talking about politics because you're just wrong on everything. And you're just, why are you, whatever, calling me green MAGA and all kinds of stuff like that. I turn it around by saying, you're a paid propagandist. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you're just a person that thinks those thoughts. And if you are, you're not even getting paid. You're a propagandist for free. About that one. That must feel good to do the work of the establishment for free. Not even get paid for it. You might as well apply for a job. If you're spending time listening to things on the internet and getting so irate and so mad that people are thinking the wrong thoughts that you got to get into the chats and tell people they're conspiracy theorists, you might as well get paid for it. Jesus. Anyways. I'll say one more thing. They don't like people crossing ideological lines. They don't like people mixing. They like people on the right thinking all the right-wing thoughts. They like people on the left thinking all the left-wing thoughts. They don't like people getting in. That's my suspicion about Jem Bendell being kicked off Twitter is not that he disagreed with the party line on the response to climate change. It's not that he thought, maybe we were taking the wrong tack as far as the answer to climate change. That's not why he got kicked off. He got kicked off because he was questioning the narrative from the liberal side, and there were too many people, right? If you have too many people following you, and you're kind of a you're kind of a big deal in one silo, and you start crossing over to the other silo. They don't like that. They don't like breaking the silos. They don't like people questioning these particular narratives that are out there. Because that's when you're a little more controllable if they can pump out ideas, and let's do let's give the lefties something to go crazy about. Let's give the righties something to go crazy about. But if you have people kind of like calmly and casually talking about all sides of the issues, and considering all thoughts and all issues with kind of like the painting with the same, that's just too much for them. And furthermore, I am going to end this idea, but I think that was behind. I was thinking about the switch from Bush to Obama to Trump. Like think about that progression in presidencies. That was like the ultimate troll, right? Because you had George W. Bush, who just absolutely like went ham while he was president. Stole the election to become president, right? Then 9/11 happens, then Iraq happens, and people are just like, what the hell is going on? Like, people are just like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Right? And then, I remember the Bush presidency being a very bad time, very, very bad time. Where did Ice Age Farmer go? That's a good question. Anyways, so, here we are, we're in these wars. We're supposed to be looking for this guy named Osama, and we took out a guy named Hussein, right? And then you have like the first black president whose name is Obama. This is really close to Osama, and his middle name is Hussein. And right, like that was like a brain melt, right, to a lot of people who might have been like, well, yeah, we had this terror attack, and it was these terrorists, and they're these right, terrorism. They're all Islamic, right? And then you have the first black president get elected who has a very Islamic sounding name, right? Just like big mind blown, right? And then you have Trump come in after Obama, and that's just a big, he's super racist, right? And like it's a white lash and blah blah blah. They couldn't take Obama being president, right? Like you see what I'm saying? You just have these ultra troll, and Trump is the ultimate troll, right? He's literally on Twitter like trolling people. Anyways, I was just considering like that, like chain of events was very like, if you wanna create these like polarities in the population and the populace, and you kind of want to like, it just seemed a little like, okay, sure. Rich Diana says Musk is going to charge a monthly fee to rid the trolls and bots from further destroying X. Think he needs to do more. I don't know. I'm not paying any monthly fee for X. That's when I become an X user. Mega, I like that. Make the environment great again. Mega. That's good. That's good, Rich. I like that. Mega. Yes. I like that. The Black Bear political party runs for office. Mega. Very good. Yeah, and then Biden gets in. Biden can't even talk. Can't even form sentences. He's just a zombie, and he gets elected president, and people are like, but he beat fascism. People are like, what is going on? And then Trump's back. He might win. Like they're just trolling us at this point. The powers that be are literally just trolling people. It's amazing. Let's see. AREM, what's this? What's this? What's this? Man amassed Canadian City Council's eco-fascist NWO plan and the audience applause. All right. All right. All right. I have to watch this. I'm going to have to watch this. Thank you. Yeah, we are just being trolled from all sides. And if you try to pick it apart in a way, they just don't like. They don't like people picking apart. You want me to play it? Oh, let's see. I want to watch it. I want to watch it first, AREM, before I play it. I'm sure it's cool. Everybody like the videos, like wherever you're listening. All right. Okay. Let's get into some things because man, is it late. I was planning on covering so many things today, and I can tell you that's not going to happen. All right, we're going to go through the usual litany of showing you how kooky the planet is behaving. Where is this? Come on now. This is massive flooding in India. I don't know. I bring these because I think it's just showing, the disruption that's going on the planet. There's so many of these. Major flooding in this is also India. This is a road, not a river. You've got no chance if you get caught in that. The boat is barely doing it in the river. This is North Carolina. Tropical storm Ophelia. Just dumping a bunch of stuff on people. Storm surge in Washington, North Carolina. Just another day. Just another day in the new regime. Hurricane. Oh, this is Tropical Storm Ophelia takes aim at North Carolina. They're just predicting a bunch of storm surge and mayhem there. And this is coming in today. So this is the track for, happening now, today, into tomorrow, up through Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area. And this is a hailstorm in Brazil. Yikes. People trying to stay out of the way of that. And all right, here's an article from the Washington Post. Steve Austin. Oh, I forgot all about Robert Hunziker. September's record warm temperatures have scientists worried. I don't even know if I'm going to read all of this. I don't know if I can read all of it. They generally tend to like to block me. Yeah. Anyways, I wasn't necessarily going to read the article. I was just reading it for the Post. The planet is on the brink of the most ambitious climate target to limit warming to 1.5 C. On the brink of what? We're at 1.5 C. We're at 1.5 C. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. If long-term global average temperatures rise to 2C, it could unleash irreversible consequences or irreversible consequences for all life on Earth. Yeah, 2C. I mean, we're at 1.5. You see what we're doing. Lost Adult says 1.7. I mean, let's see. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole thing here from Robert. We'll do a little. We'll go through a little bit of it. Yeah. Let's see. Climate emergency update, September 2023. Earth's climate system is in a state of emergency. Emergencies are defined by 4 specific elements, i.e. seriousness, 2 unexpected, 3 dangerous, and 4 requiring immediate action. Based upon a new YouTube broadcast by the inveterate commentator Dr. Peter Carter, all those elements are in play in a very big way. Dr. Carter, expert reviewer of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the director of the Climate Emergency Institute, posted a 26-minute, 33-second whatever, YouTube update on the status of our climate system. Let's see. Following synopsis, including editorial comment, highlights the issues as seen by Dr. Peter Carter. In his opening statement, he starts by reporting the state of the climate today as worse than ever before, much worse than ever before. If it seems to you that the climate situation is getting worse, yes, it is. There's no question about that. It's been getting worse for a long time. Ocean surface temperature has been off the charts. We're not stopping industrial civilization anytime soon, so can't see that changing. Methane. Okay, I actually need a little more time to look through this, probably. So, the IMF recently published an assessment of fossil fuel subsidies worldwide at $7 trillion in 2022. $7 trillion. $7 trillion. Good Lord. I can't even, I mean, that's just an insane amount of money. I get, okay. I'm going to have to read through this and then bring it back. I get a little bit overwhelmed. And then, also a little, what's the word? No, it's cool. I'll check it out, Aram. I want to look at it. Yeah, I just where are the answers coming from? What is the what's the path forward? Um, there's no intent. Seems to be no. It seems to be a lot of doublespeak. For the people that question my thoughts on other issues, around, other than climate change, I ask you: do you think there is a conspiracy to hide the severity of climate change from the public on the part of the powers that be? Do you think there is a conspiracy to tell the public that climate change is a problem, but not actually do anything about the problem? If your answer is yes to either or both of those questions, you are a conspiracy theorist. Congratulations. So, you know, they're lying about that, but they're telling the truth about everything else. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what you want. It's like it's hard to fathom where we're at, um, with regards to how much we've destroyed the planet. And then it's hard to what's up, Drag Eye? How you doing? How you doing, Drag Eye? How you doing? What is going on? Good to see you in the chats on Rockfin. We got some other folks. William, as usual, being the number one. There used to be remember when there was a race to be number one in the chats? That was a while ago. Uh oh man. And now it's funny. I was thinking about does anybody remember when I was live streaming like a couple times a day pandemic, the very early pandemic? And I was like, we were talking about something, and I said the FBI is watching the stream right now, and people were like, "Nah." 20 seconds later, literally the FBI, like a little FBI logo, came up in the chats, and they said, "How you doing, guys?" So to the person that was in the Rockfin chat talking about you're too small for anybody to pay attention to, I was like, literally confirmed by the FBI, like right after I said, they're probably watching the stream. They're like, gotcha. I was like, all right, thanks. Anyways, so there's that. What else is going on? I mean, we know that the planet is spiraling dangerously out of control. Oh, and you might not be able to drink any beer because of it, because beer requires crops. Crops of barley. Beer requires crops. Beer could be facing an existential crisis as climate change looks set to hammer Europe's vital barley supplies. A major brewing chief has said there's a risk we may not be able to produce enough beer. Oh my. Beer will only be for the wealthy and well-to-do in the future. I mean, why not? Right? There's, extreme weather events make it hard to grow things. So pretty much everything is going to be harder to find and much more expensive. The CEO of Japanese brewer Asahi said this. Oh, they're not going to let me read this either. Oh my, I don't have the energy to deal with it. But, I don't know what more you want me to tell you about that other than, yep, that's happening. Yep. whatever will be impacted by the lack of stable growing seasons will be impacted by the lack of stable growing seasons. I think that's what I said. Did I say growing stable seasons? Stable growing seasons. That's what I meant. You know what I meant. John Kerry. Okay, I'm showing these videos, guys. Please don't. Oh, the Squeeze album is safe. I know. I that's my favorite part of my background is the Squeeze album, Extra Bola. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just playing around with this. I'm always kind of experimenting with things. You know, whether people like something better or not, whether it makes a difference in my streaming, popularity or something. I don't know what. I'm showing these videos not because I'm not necessarily a fan of the climate scam folks, but I'm showing this because, these are things that people who are climate aware are pointing out. The very same things, right? So it's strangely, there's places where people who believe in climate change but don't believe the right things are being done align with the people who think, well, it's the same thing, right? If you think whatever is being done is the wrong thing, is inadequate response. And also, if you wonder why people don't believe in climate change, well, this is why. There are reasons why. Because they do things that would cause people to raise their eyebrows in such a way as to be like, But we don't agree on everything. Climate grifter extraordinaire John Kerry. The farming industry must be destroyed in order to achieve net zero. I don't know if he's saying it must be destroyed. I think that's a little, hyperbolic. But he says agriculture contributes about 33% of all emissions of the world. That is true. And we can't get to net zero. We don't get this job done unless agriculture is front and center as part of the solution. You can't continue to both warm the planet while also expecting to feed it. It doesn't work. So we have to reduce emissions from the food system. And this is where the messaging gets a little tricky. Because actually what John Kerry is saying is correct. He's correct. He's actually correct. This is where we get to the point where it's like it's hard to actually address a problem that is caused by the advancement of industrial civilization. And by, so many people on the planet being so prosperous and having, doing all the things and needing all the food, right? And growing all the food. And yes, we could probably do better with, we have lots of food. We have lots of food abundance on one level, and we could probably feed a lot of people without, locking up all the food, as Guy McPherson, aptly talks about, right? Guy McPherson says, lock up the food. Locking up the food is key to keeping the, things running the way they are. Keeping the for-profit, food industry going the way it is. What they're doing here is kind of misinterpreting what he's saying, but it shows the difficulty in addressing the problem, because when you say like, well, growing all this food for all these people is contributing to a lot of greenhouse gases. Well, what do you do about that? Nobody can really get to the point of saying maybe we should, we're going to have to take our resource usage, way down in order to address this. You can't say that. It's just like fossil fuels. Well, yes, fossil fuels are killing the planet, but fossil fuels also power all of industrial civilization. And it's so big. We've built so much. It's so huge. You can't really stop powering it without without taking away of a lot of the things that we feel accustomed to. And so that's that's the political issue that people speak on. Like, you can't address this problem politically because you start saying things that a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute, are you saying that there shouldn't be so many of us, or that we shouldn't have food, or we shouldn't be able to have all the things and do all the you're saying I can't do all those things? It's a confusing message for people, because you spend your whole life hearing, well, you got to have more. You got to go to school and get a good job and get a degree and get all the stuff and have all the stuff. And this is how everybody lives. And this is what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to want more and get more and have more. And so when somebody comes up and says, well, that's actually causing a problem. The getting more and having more and wanting more. That's actually kind of an issue. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? You told me the whole time. I've been alive. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm confused. What do I do? F you, right? Like, it's just does not compute for a lot of people. And that's part of the problem too, is the messaging is very difficult. Anyways. I'm interested in this, Drag-Eye. What do you're let's see. Okay, that's very interesting. I'm going to have to look at this. I don't have time to suss it out right now, but I'm going to have to look at your response to Corbett. Anyways. It's a multi-layered, nuanced problem that we are getting the most simplistic, non-helpful answers to. And it's unfortunate. And it's very difficult for the people in charge to actually do anything about it. Because they are also talking out of both sides of their mouths at the same time, right? They're saying like, well, we're gonna have to adjust ourselves for this climate situation, but we want everybody to keep everything going. How do we keep? It's a conundrum, right? We want to keep everything going. The economy has to keep going. We want the economy to grow. We want to keep telling everybody that everything's going to be fine. And yet we're trying to say like, well, climate change is an issue and we're going to have to do some, very, kind of unpleasant things in order to address climate change. You can see why it would cause such confusion. Anyways, from the same channel, alarming footage of the discarded remains of a wind farm in Queensland, Australia. Not only are these monstrosities a blight on the countryside when they're in operation, killing and maiming hundreds of thousands of bats and birds in the process. True, that's true. Every single year, once their working life of just 15 to 20 years is up, they cannot be recycled, so they end up being dumped in nature or in landfills. Again, this is an issue with the response to climate change, not an issue with climate change being true or false in and of itself.
Coming through here because I've been told that there are
misunderstanding, but
old turbine blades that have been just dumped here. Here they are.
Well, yeah, here you go.
This is renewable energy, by the way.
That's not very green.
Remember that word, renewable?
Takes a lot of energy to actually make these things.
There's nothing much renewable about these.
That's not very green. Takes a lot of energy to ship these things and erect these things, and then they wreck things when they're erected. See what I did there? All right, it's getting late. Late in the day. It's late in the day. Alrighty. Where are we going? Where are we going? Guys, I think we're going to go to Rockfin. Gonna go to Rockfin. We only have a couple minutes left here. But if you enjoy this channel, you can support me here. PayPal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, Venmo @Kevin Sandbloom, Cash App @Red Llama Music, buymecoffee.com/Black Bear News. Go ahead and hit me there. Okay? You can super chat me or super ray me. Super ray is a tip on Rockfin. Osama says it takes 9 vehicles to ship 1 wind turbine blade. So 97 vehicles to transport all 3, not including the turbine in the tower. That is a lot of energy. You see the conundrum there. Or the... Anyways. Oh, I'm streaming from a gas station. That's funny. Yep, man, I'm out in the field. Man about town. Reporter at large. All right. Oh, you can also support me at Patreon. And I will check back in at the end of the show for messages, tips, and whatnot. All right, so let's go to Rockfin. YouTubers, love you. See ya.